Hi, and welcome to the Smart Classroom Behavior series. In this session, we'll be covering the ABCs of behavior. For this ABCs of behavior section, we will cover the following. We'll identify the three elements of the ABC analysis, describe each element, and practice completing an ABC analysis. Let's look at the cartoon. The cartoon shows a common experience that happens at home and in the classroom. We have a behavior that occurred, and now we have to figure out what happened and what to do about it. And this is where an ABC analysis can help. An ABC analysis can help us because an ABC analysis looks at what happens before, during, and after a target behavior occurs. An ABC analysis has three elements. A for antecedent, B for behavior, and C for consequence. Those are the ABCs of behavior. The A in the ABC stands for antecedent. This refers to what is happening before the behavior occurs. It involves three elements. The first element is the setting. Where is the behavior taking place? Is the behavior occurring in the classroom, out on the playground, or in the cafeteria? Within the classroom, you can even look at areas such as your home center, science area, or reading area, because those are also individual settings within the classroom. Oftentimes, behavior is caused by something in the environment, and if we can find out that piece in the environment and change it, we can often remove the behavior. The second element is events. When is this behavior happening? During what time of the day is this behavior occurring? Is it occurring during morning announcements? Is it occurring during group time, work time, during center time, during a meal or a snack? Sometimes we can figure out why a behavior is occurring if we can see what's going on at the same time as the behavior. If we can change one of those elements, sometimes the behavior goes away on its own as well. The last element is interactions. Who is the child interacting with at the time the behavior occurs? Is it with another child? Is it with a teacher? Or is the child on their own? Oftentimes, certain behaviors occur with other individuals. And if we can figure that out, we can either change the dynamic of that interaction or prohibit that interaction from happening. The B in ABC stands for behavior. The behavior component involves describing the behavior as it's happening now. There are three things you need to do when observing behavior. The first thing you need to do is be specific. Specific means you focus only on the target behavior. For example, if the target behavior you want to address is name calling, then looking at running in the classroom or hitting is going to take your focus away. The second thing you need to do is be detailed. When the behavior occurs, record everything that is said or done. For example, instead of saying the child called the teacher a name, you would say, the child stood next to the teacher and said, "You're a dummy," in a loud voice. The third thing you need to do is be objective. Objective means you record facts and not your opinion or interpretations of the behavior. For example, instead of saying he kicked the child viciously, you would say he kicked the child hard in the leg. Having specific, detailed, and objective observations will give you good information to use when coming up with behavior strategies. The C in ABC stands for consequence. Consequences are what happens after a behavior occurs. When we hear the word consequence, we automatically think of punishment. However, in an ABC analysis, the consequence is actually a response by the person to the behavior. The person's response could be a punishment, but not always. So we need to look for three different responses. The first response is by the teacher or the adult in the situation, if there is one. How does the teacher address the behavior? In what way did the teacher respond? Did the teacher give a punishment? Did the teacher redirect the behavior? Or did the teacher not notice the behavior and did nothing? The other person involved in the behavior is probably another child. What does each child do? For example, with name calling. The child that did the name calling, how does the child who was called the name respond? The last response we look for is the environment. While a response from the environment is rare, it can happen. An example would be a child bouncing a ball against the wall. If the ball bounces back and hits the child in the face, that's the environment responding. It's important to look at how each of these individuals responds to the behavior, because it could give us clues in how to address the behavior in the future, or even maybe that we're missing a behavior because we don't see it. So how do we conduct an ABC analysis? As teachers, it is difficult to observe and record all the ABCs of behavior as they are happening in the classroom. So it is recommended that you videotape behavior in your classroom and then look at it later. The first thing you need to do is identify a target behavior you want to address. An example would be a child yelling at another child. After you identify your target behavior, you need to create a simple ABC table. The ABC table has 3 columns, one for each letter of ABC. In each column, there are also the elements that you'll need to look for. After you've created your table, then you watch your video, and as you're watching the video of your behavior, you would complete the sections. For example, if you were looking at child yelling at another child, you would want to describe where this is occurring. Is it in the classroom or on the playground? You'd want to describe what the child does while they're yelling. What do they say? What's their tone of voice? And then for consequence, you might write down what happens after the child does this. So we're going to practice this with the classroom video clip. Feel free to pause the video right now to create your own table and rewind to review some of the information that we've already covered. So here we have identified our target behavior and created an ABC table to record our information. The video you will watch is only 25 seconds, since that's how fast behavior occurs in the classroom. So feel free to pause and rewind as needed during the video to complete each section of the ABC chart. After you have finished your ABC analysis, you'll have a chance to see how you did.
Help the environment. This word says environment. Let's spell environment. And if you live in an area with a lot of trees and you have asthma.
So here's our completed ABC analysis of the video clip with the yelling behavior. Take a moment to see how your analysis compares. Once you have an ABC analysis, you can look in each section for patterns or clues to help you address behavior. For example, under the A section, one of the triggers for the yelling was the child waving her headband too close to the other child's face. The teacher can look at this and think about ways to prevent that trigger from happening again. You can do this for each section. Once the teacher decides on a plan of action, she can repeat the steps in the ABC analysis to see if progress and change have occurred. So that's the ABCs of behavior. Good luck in your classroom.